Okay, this is a work problem that we were doing in class, but we didn't really have a chance to really finish it, so I'm going to go over it right now. And this is number 87 on the worksheet I gave you. And you should have this in front and read this. It says together, I'll circle it over here. That's 88, so this is 87. So make sure you take a look at that. And it says, together 2 pipes fill a vat in 9 hours and 36 minutes. If the larger pipe takes 16 hours to fill the vat, how long does it take the smaller type to fill the vat? Smaller pipe. So it takes the larger pipe 16 hours. It takes a smaller pipe, we don't know. So that's what we're looking for. Okay? So we try to find the rate of each pipe. And we know the time they're going to work together will be 9 hours and 36 minutes. So we probably want to change that first of all, because they're both going to work that time. So we probably want to change that to a fraction. So 9 hours and 36 minutes is like 9 and 36 minutes over 60 minutes to get a fractional part of an hour. Let me do that down over here. Hopefully you can see this. And I can reduce that. And I think 12 goes into 36 3 times and it goes into 65 times, so it'd be 9 3/5. And then if I multiply that, 9 times 5 is 45, plus 3 is 48, so that's actually 48 over 5. So that's the time, 48/5 hours, which is 9 3/5 hours, which is 9 6/10 hours, which is 9 hours and 36 minutes. So we could write this time would be 48 over 5, 48 over 5, okay? Hope you can see that. Now what's the rate? Well, the larger pipe, it takes 16 hours for the larger pipe to do the job. So the larger pipe takes 16 hours to do the whole job. By itself. So its rate, if it's going to take 16 hours to do the whole job, it's going to do 1/16 per hour. So its rate would be 1/16 per hour. In other words, in 8 hours it would do 8/16 or half the job, in 16 hours it would do 16/16 for the whole job. So that's its rate. So we can put that in here, 1 over 16. That's its rate. And we know that rate times time equals the fractional part of the job done. Okay, so if this was going to do 8 hours, 8 times 1 over 16 would be 8 over 16. In 8 hours, it would do half the job. So that's the fractional part of the job it's going to do. Now the small pipe, that's a tricky part. So let's let x equal the number of hours for the small pipe to fill the vat or do the job. Or fill the vat. Okay? We can read that. You can always zoom in on these things, I guess. So what would that rate be? Well, if it takes X hours, if it was 3 hours, it would do 1/3 per hour, right? If it was 4 hours, it would do 1/4 per hour. If it was 5 hours, it would do 1/5 per hour. So the rate is 1x per hour. 1 over x per hour. So if it was 10 hours, it would do 1/10 per hour. So that's the rate. So that's going to be this rate over here, 1 over x. Okay? So I hope you can see that. Okay? Guess I can zoom in a little bit on that. There you go. There you go. That's focused. So this is the rate of the large pipe. Remember, the large pipe takes 16 hours to do the whole job, so its rate would be 1/16 per hour, or 16 hours to fill the vat. The small pipe, we don't know, so we're going to call that X hours. That's what we're looking for, is how many hours it would take the small pipe to fill the vat by itself. How long does it take the small pipe to fill the vat all by itself? So its rate is going to be 1 over X, because it takes X hours to do the whole job. And we know these multiply across, so the fractional part, and that's going to give me my equation. So if I multiply these across, now I've got 1/16 times, and I guess I could write it out over here so you see the whole thing. So I've got 1 over 16 times 48 over 5. And that's the fractional part that's going to do. And this is going to be 48 over 5x. And those are going to add up to be one whole job. That's the fractional parts. Okay? Now we can multiply this out. You know that 16 goes into 48 3 times. So that's going to be 16 goes into 48 3 times. So I could say that's the same thing as 3 over 5 plus 48 over 5x. And that equals one whole job. So there's your equation. Oops, let me get this over here, sorry. So again, 1/6 of 48, 1/16 of 48 over 5. 16 goes into 48 3 times. So I cancel, so I've got 5 on the bottom. And this is 48 over 5x, because we multiply that out, and that equals 1. So there's your equation. Then we can multiply through by the LCD. So least common denominator is going to be 5x, so I'll multiply both sides by 5x. Got to move this over here because I've got some of this work over here. So if I multiply, 5 goes into 5x x times, so I got 3x. And then 5 into 5x cancel, so I've got plus 48. And that equals 5x. Okay? And then I can subtract 3x from both sides. And I've got 48 equals 2x. And if I divide both sides by 2, x equals 24. And that would be hours, because we've converted everything to hours. So that'd be 24 hours. So if that makes sense, now you can work it, so x would be 24 hours. And you could check this, you could multiply 1/16 times 48 over 5, and then 1 over 24, that would be the rate, times 48 over 5, and you're going to get 1. Because this is actually 3/5, right? This is 3/5 over here, so if I multiply that out, I would get 3/5 of the job is done in this time by the large pipe. And this is 1 over 24. 24 goes into 48 twice, so that'd be 2/5 of the job is done by the small pipe. And you see those add up to the whole job. 3/5 plus 2/5 is 1, or 5/5 or 1. Okay? So that's basically how to deal with it. This is maybe something we hadn't done before, and then converting this into from hours and minutes into hours. This is 48 over 5 hours. Everything in terms of hours, okay? So this is probably a little bit different than that. Okay? So you have a problem like that on your homework, so hopefully you'll be able to follow this pattern and see what's going on.